What's up? Welcome back. Oh man, I got I got trimmed up, but I didn't really. I always got like a mustache hair that like is coming up and it's like tickling my face, and it's something that's bothering me right now. But anyway, enough about me. Welcome back. We're right there. We have 21, 22, 23, and 24 left. We'll be done by the end of the week, and we got a good one today. Not as long as the rest of them. Only 37 verses, but let's get into it anyway. We're in Luke 21. Section is the widow's gift. Here we go. And he looked up and saw the rich putting their gifts into the treasury. And he saw a poor widow putting 2 small copper coins. And he said, "Truly, I say to you, this poor widow put in more than all of them, for they all out of their surplus put into the offering. But she out of her poverty put all that she had to live on." And while some were talking in the temple and while some were talking about the temple that it was adorned with beautiful stones and votive gifts, I don't know what that word is. He said, "As for these things which you are looking at, the days will come in which there will not be one stone left upon another, which will not be torn down." And they questioned him, saying, "Teacher, when therefore will this happen? And what will be the sign when these things are about to take place?" And he said, "See to it that you are not misled, for many will come in my name, saying, 'I am he.' And the time is near. Do not go after them. When you hear of wars and disturbances, do not be terrified, for these things must take place first. But the end does not follow immediately." Then he continued saying to them, "Nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And there will be great earthquakes in various places and famines. And there will be terrors and great signs from heaven. But before all of these things, they will lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you to the synagogues and prisons bringing you before kings and governors for my name's sake. It will lead to an opportunity for your testimony. So make up your minds not to prepare beforehand to defend yourself, for I will give you utterance and wisdom which none of your opponents will be able to resist or refute. But you will be betrayed even by your parents and brothers and relatives and friends, and they will put some of you to death, and you will be hated because of my name. Yet not a hair on your head will perish, but by your endurance, you will gain your lives. But when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then recognize that her desolation is near. Then those who are in Judah must flee to the mountains, and those who are in the midst of the city must leave, and those who are in the country must not enter the city, because these are days of vengeance, so that all things which are written will be fulfilled. Woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing babies in those days, for there will be great distress upon the land and wrath to this people. And they will fall by the edge of the sword and will be led captive into all nations, and Jerusalem will be trampled underfoot by the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles are fulfilled. There will be signs in sun and moon and stars, and on the earth dismay among nations, in perplexity at a roaring of the seas and the waves, men fainting from fear and the expectation of things which are coming upon the world, for powers of the heavens will be shaken. Then they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. But when these things begin to take place, straighten up and lift up your heads, because your redemption is drawing near." Then he told them a parable. "Behold, the fig tree and all the trees, as soon as they put forth leaves, you see it, and you know, and know for yourselves that summer is now near. So you also, when you see these things happening, recognize that the kingdom of God is near. Truly I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all things take place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. Be on guard, so that your hearts will not be weighed down with dissipation and drunkenness and worries of life, and that day will not come upon you suddenly like a trap. For it will come upon all of those who dwell on the face of the earth. But keep on alert at all times, praying that you may have strength to escape all of these things that are about to take place, and to stand before the Son of Man. Now during the day he was teaching in the temple, but at the evening he would go out and spend the night in the mountain called Olivet. And all the people would get up early in the morning to come to him in the temple to listen to him. So this is packed. I mean, we got a lot. We got end times. We got a bunch of stuff in here. So let's go through it. And again, I'm not diving super deep into anything. We're going to keep it super basic. And if you want more depth on this, check out the podcast, Hanging Out with Uncle Charlie. We go through this in much more detail. I've got like 2.5 hours on the end times. We're not touching on this yet. I got another video coming out, which is going to bring in a lot more of these other passages, Luke, Matthew, Ezekiel, Isaiah, Daniel, all that other stuff. Anyway, the widow's gift, right? We're talking about... There's I'm sure you've heard it. There's this idea that Jesus said this out of like disgust, right? Like the church put her in poverty, right? Compelled her to give the last things that she had to the church, and she's still poor. They've not given anything back to her, taking care of her. And there is an element of that. There is an element of that here. You could take that as the reading, right? Churches should not be compelling the poorest of individuals to go into poverty to fund the church and then not take care of those people that they put into poverty. Sure. But the real takeaway here is that it's not about the number or the level that you give with or serve to or whatever. It's what your capacity is and how much of you do you give to the Lord, right? If you have all the time in the world and you give 4 hours a day, you've got nothing else going on, and you give 4 hours a day to God, awesome. If you have no time, and when I say give, I mean like serving, maybe teaching or praying or reading or whatever, like you're doing something. It's not just like prayers in your head. I mean, you're sitting down, you're in the Word, you're writing, you're reading, you're like in very conscious prayer, or you're serving, or you're whatever, you know. You have 4 hours a day. But another person who has no time, they have so many responsibilities. They've got a crazy, grueling job. They've got the kids, a baby. They've got, sickness and illness in the house, or old elderly family members. And there's just all day long. And they still make 15 minutes, 10 minutes a day before bed. They sit down, they pray for individuals that they ran into throughout the day and try to figure out a way that they can do something for them. Or put somebody in contact with them like they do, right? But it's just 10 minutes. They had no time. They only had 10 minutes, and they gave that 10 minutes. They gave 100% of their time, 100% of what they had left. That's more than what, same with money. Same with money when you're tithing. Now, again, God in his providence, he only asked for 10%. Doesn't matter. If you made $100, give him 10. If you made $100,000, you give him 10,000. 10%. But the guy who made $100 and gives 20%, or gives $20, but that's all he has to give. He doesn't have like, it's not like he has $100 and he only has 10 left and gives that 10. We gave 100%. He gave 100%. He had nothing left. Gave 100%. Is more than the guy who had $100,000, gave 10 and had $90,000, $85,000 more dollars to spend, right? He had $5,000 more. You know what I mean? So if you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So he's not given close to everything. That's what he's trying to get at here. That's the main takeaway. That's the main takeaway. God is not so concerned with the dollar amount, the minutes, the number of heads that you were able to, like whatever, like the actual number of people. It's about what you can do and have you done everything you can do. That's what he looks at. So it's a relative scale. And that's great because some people are blessed with tons of money and can give tons of money. Some people are blessed with tons of time and can give tons of time. Some people are blessed with tons of other resources and can give tons of other resources. And we can't. You might not be able to. But what you can do, you do all of that. And God sees that. It's not lost. He doesn't weight that less. He weights it more. So that's good. That's good. Now, when he's prophesying, he is prophesying, right? When we get into verse 5, and they're going on and on about how beautiful the temple is, and he goes, these things are going to be torn down. Not one stone will be left upon another. When he is prophesying, he is talking about such a vast amount of time. So many things transpire over the time period that he is talking about that it is very difficult to sit there and place everything. Some things are super general and some things are not. So let's look at it, and we'll do it kind of quickly, but we're going to look at it. He's talking specifically about the temple. Not one stone will be left upon another. The temple, when it is torn down in like 90 something AD, they ripped the foundation stones out of the ground. Rome comes in and burns it down and rips the foundation stones out. Not one stone is left upon another. He wasn't kidding. That was literal. Now, there were not great earthquakes. There were not plagues and famines. There were not great signs from heaven. There were not nations all surrounding Jerusalem. No. It's not what happened. Rome was a massive superpower at the time. When we get into the next thing, it says, see that you're not misled. From many will come in my name saying, I am he. There's tons of people that come around talking about that they're Jesus, that they are whatever, and that the time is near. Do not go after them. I mean, we just had one, September 22nd, 2025 or something, whatever the date was, September 26th, one of them. It's good. The rapture is going to be today. As soon as you say it, you're wrong. No man knows the day nor the hour. Again, Jesus is not, he's not playing, he's accurate with his statement. They're still doing it. We have the actual Bible. We read it. The people that are claiming that the end is near claim to also read the Bible. And this verse right here, many will come in my name saying the time is near. Don't go after them. And people who claim to read the Bible will read this verse and go after people who also read this verse and say the time is near. Idiots. When you hear of wars and disturbances, do not be terrified. What do we do every time that there's a war? What do we do every time there's a disturbance? Oh, this is the end. We're in the end. Hillary Clinton's the Antichrist. But the end does not follow immediately. He's making it very clear. Do not be terrified, for these things must take place first. Chill. These are going to happen first. Then I'm going to return. It's going to be hell on earth first. Then I'm going to return. Nation will rise against nation. Kingdom against kingdom. Great earthquakes. Great earthquakes. Not 800 micro earthquakes. Great earthquakes. And various places, plagues and famines all over. There will be terrors and great signs from heaven. Crazy stuff happening in the stars. Terrors. Could there be terroristic attacks? Sure. But before all of these things, they will lay their hands on you and persecute you and deliver you to the what? The synagogues. And prisons. Bringing you before kings and governors for my name's sake. Then he says, don't fret, don't rehearse the stuff. I'm going to be with you. This is an example where Stephen, right, the first martyr, because immediately after this, you've got Saul, who becomes Paul, and as Christianity is flourishing, it's flourishing from the persecution. The persecution is first carried out by the Jews, and it expands out to the Romans, and then it expands out, and as it breaks through and it survives all of those things, it gets around the whole world. And now the Chinese and the Muslims and the Canadians and the British and the Africans, now they're all persecuting Christians across a global persecution of the true followers of Christ. But this is why I'm saying that there is he is talking about a massive chunk of time. So it's very difficult to place these things because, yes, they did deliver them to the synagogues first and then to prisons and then to, I lost my spot, kings and then governors, right? On modern times, it's governor. It's your local municipality that you're getting brought before. So huge time frame that we're talking about here. And then he says, you're going to be hated for my name, whatever, parents, everybody's going to turn you in, blah, blah, blah. But when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then recognize that her desolation is near, and then everybody needs to flee and stay out of that and whatever. Key point here. And they will be led into captive into all nations. So they are going to be scattered. Let us be very clear here. People try to place this as an event that today is to come. They will be surrounded by armies, then recognize that her desolation is near. Then those who are in Judea must flee. These are the days of vengeance. So these things, all of these. Sorry, told you my nose is bugging me. Great distress in the land, and they will fall on the edge of the sword, and they will be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem will be trampled underfoot by the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles are fulfilled. What is the time of the Gentiles? When is the time of the Gentiles fulfilled? Now, there's a couple ways to look at that. We'll dive into that in the podcast, but generally speaking, I believe the time of the Gentiles is them being Gentiles. And then they're the ones that kind of take the torch. Gentiles are like outsiders, but now they're not outsiders. They're the insiders. But again, we'll dive into that. Return of Christ. There will be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, and the earth dismay and perplexity and roaring seas, men fainting from fear. Crazy things are going to be happening, right? We read about that in Revelation. Crazy things are going to be happening. Then they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. But when these things begin to take place, straighten up and lift up your heads, because your redemption is drawing near. So don't fear when this is happening. This is your redemption. You're going to be raised up. Truly I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all things take place. Once again, there is a very popular thought out there that when he says, and let's just get the whole piece in context, behold the fig tree and all the trees, as soon as they put forth leaves, you see it and know for yourselves that summer is now near. So you also, when you see these things happening, recognize that the kingdom of God is near. Truly I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all things take place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. That generation did not pass away. Let me just double check something real quick. We're leaving that screen. Let me see something. Just because I want the date. When was the temple in Jerusalem destroyed? I forget what the exact year was. 70 AD. So that's 37 years after Jesus was crucified. That generation didn't pass away before those things happened. Now, people will say that what he's talking about here is the generation of when Israel became a nation again in 1946. I don't remember that date specifically either. When did Israel become a nation? 1948. Sorry, 1948. When did they become a nation again? 1948. That generation, the folks that were born in 1948, that they will not pass away before this stuff happens, before the end. That's a stretch. That's a stretch. Now, is it possible? Yes, but they're going to be almost 100 years old. Is that possible? Sure. But I mean, we're talking about a few people being alive that long. Knowing that the generation did not pass away before the temple was destroyed and not one stone was left upon another. That fits this way better than being 80-something years into this generation, this last generation, and going, Well, it got 14 years before it happens. It's like, okay, all right. Oh, okay. But we know it fits the other one very well. You're talking 30, what do we say, 37 years? 37 years. And many other things happened during that time. So, yeah. Anyway, be on guard and do not be weighed down with dissipation and drunkenness. This is like drugs and alcohol, and worries of life. Don't fret that this day will not come upon you suddenly like a trap, for it will come upon all those who dwell on the face of all of the earth. Nobody's exempt, and this is not happening locally. So that's how we know that these earthquakes and these things, this is not talking about the situation that specifically happened in Jerusalem, and the rest of the world is fine. These calamities and all this stuff that's going to happen, it is talking about it happening globally, and everybody's going to get it. Now, there is a group of people that believe that it's going to happen to everybody, and there is no escaping it. And there is other folks, like the escape is going to be the rapture. And there's other folks that believe that, like, yeah, stock up on stuff and hide and run and get as remote as you can and live in the woods and live in the... It does say, but keep on alert at all times, praying that you have the strength to escape all of these things that are about to that take place, and to stand before the Son of Man. Again, he's talking about such a grand time frame, such a massive... I mean, he's literally talking about like a third of what's documented history. All right, he's talking about the next 2,000 years. There's only been 2 other 2,000-year increments before this. So, you know, you got Noah to Jesus is 2,000 years. Jesus to now is 2,000 years. Noah to creation is 2,000 years, roughly. We don't know how long they were in the garden. So we go fall or whatever, when Adam started aging, to Noah, 2,000 years. So he's talking about what this is going to be a 2,000 to 3,000 year period of time. That's a long time to be talking about. Very difficult to place things because a lot of things fit over 2,000 years. Having the strength to escape something, which means it's your own... You're not getting into a rapture by your own laurels. It says that it obviously hints that it is possible to escape these things. So, sure, you might go through it, but you could just kind of make your way and kind of get remote and hide away and get in a bunker or whatever. But then, and to stand before the Son of Man. This is talking about escape these things that are about to take place and to stand before the Son of Man and die. He's talking to them. He's talking to the people who are going to face persecution. Pray that you have the strength to escape these things. Get out of Jerusalem. Don't stay in here and get slaughtered. Have the strength to escape and get out. It's going to be bad. The persecution, the Inquisition, all these, it's going to be bad. Catholic Church burning people at the stake, it's going to be bad. Burning Christians at the stake, it's going to be bad. Get out of there and prepare yourself to stand before the Son of Man, because you're not going to make it out all the time and you are going to die. That's what it's talking about. It's very general, very difficult to place these things. It is. People say, no, it's not. It is. If you're being fair and you're not coming to the table with something, with a puzzle piece already, and trying to fit that puzzle piece into a thing, if you just are reading this like we're reading it, it is difficult to place this. Okay? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that view is wrong. I'm not saying that any other view is right. I'm saying leave room. Leave room. Oh, but I don't want, then don't. Whatever, don't. But just know that some of these passages fit really well with other things, and we're getting to the point where it doesn't fit very well with anything else. So that's it. A little bit longer one, a little bit longer. They're going to be longer. Luke's got a lot going on in here. But again, we're just running through this, and it's not super, super deep, but there is a lot in here. Like every verse has something in it. So anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate you sticking around. I'll see you in the next one.